find you a bucky.
It's not a bucket. It's a Hilux.
iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiski Times, CEO does it. Yeah, we were praying that at some point someone is going to score a goal, and I kind of felt that if anyone is going to score this goal, it's going to be scored by Chiefs. Even though it was more likely that there was going to be no goal scored, but if anyone was going to score, it was going to be Kaizer Chiefs, because Polokwane City really there was no quality, and the same with Chiefs as well. You could have seen with the politicians over celebrating in the stands as well. There was such a lack of quality in the game, but well done to Kaizer Chiefs. They're now top of the league. Ingavalwa yonke loo nto okanye kuthathwa i-screenshot kwangoku kuse-early sawubona ke into yoba as bayisizi mqenqgeleka bazawuphucuka na. It's been a very poor game of football that we watched tonight. Hopefully there will be some improvement, but yeah, there was nothing much to write home about in this particular game. Our analyst, Lindo Pep, what did you make of the game? So why are your glasses?
No, today...
You're shocking me. I'm surprised by the lack of classes. What did you make of the game, sir?
Yeah, Mr. Nkeo, athi ngibulise amachita ngara mane.
Yes, sir.
Ngibulise bomb squad ngara, ngibulise nawe Ayonchuk of content direction. Ngibulise atamu just Mr. Nkeo, these are the best set of fans in the country. I can't wait to see what happens after here. 2 games, 6 points. I am so happy that they won. For them personally, as a football club, for the fans, but overall, I think Mr.
Top of the league, though.
Yeah, top of the league.
Don't skip past that part. Top of the league.
I said good checks gonna manje, Mr. Nkeo. Ngenze show good magasuka la i-JMPD available, i-subs available, so that bam accompany endlini afike safe, because uyabazi bazobe bathi abekho safe. But otherwise, Mr. Nkeo, the first half, to be honest with you, was a game that lacked opportunities from both teams. Even the Polokwane, you can see that there were a lot of fake attacks. It looked like they wanted to do something, but
half chances.
They were not even half chances, to be honest with you. They were not even half chances.
Quarter chances.
Quarter chances. The only half chance I think Kaizer Chiefs they told Lille was the Lillepo one that hit the post.
The header from the cross.
And the cross,
and
maybe.
And then Kambala as well.
Free header, maybe.
Yeah, it was a free header that hit the post.
Yeah.
And then Kambala takes a shot from maybe 30 yards out. And
but let me be honest with you, Mr. Nkeo. From a Coach Puti side, from a Polokwane City side, there is nothing really much they could have done. I think they are let down by the quality of the team.
By the lack of quality.
By the lack, so thank you for that. By the lack of quality in the team. Because from a defensive perspective, you can tell that the boys gave everything. They tried to win on my first ball, they tried to win on my second ball, try and play on a transition. That's the best they could have done. And I think that them conceding later in the game is what they were working for during the week, is what the game plan relied on. But to Peggy Kaizer Chiefs, that starts the game, 4-2-3-1. In that 4-2-3-1, they are playing with 2-6 or 8s rather, about Pepe go back 4. One of them, Umtetwa, he's more of an anchor. He doesn't have maybe an attacking responsibility, but he's got a defensive responsibility. I want to talk to Thabo Qele a little bit to say, if Kaizer Chiefs or any team plays with a double pivot, the 8 has the responsibility of a little bit aggressive in attack, in terms of a control game, in terms of progressing the team a little bit, 10 meters, a little bit, creativity, joining the box, diagonal balls, taking shots outside the box, creativity, whatever that you can, as an 8, you need to be involved in the game. And for me, I think he played it safe. Another player that I want to talk to is Umtu. If you are playing in a double pivot, you are playing as a number 10, meaning that you've got a responsibility of being somebody or connect at the midfield and the attack. In those situations, you are playing with a striker. A striker Sakonumtu is peeling off. He's not giving the striker options. We movement as well. I think also options, position that the striker needs to occupy. Another thing that I want to talk about is the Kaizer Chiefs technical team. They have to allow the players to be a little bit free. They have to allow the players to express a little bit. Take, for example, Ulilepo. In my opinion, I see the guy as a striker. Why? Technically, he can kick up both feet. Aerial threat. That guy, I think you are minimizing where he's good. I think that guy is good every time when he's closer to the box.
I think they could have seen that from maybe the first 2 weeks it was in South Africa.
You understand?
He's not a typical wing. He has qualities where if you convert him to a 9, maybe he can score 10 goals.
Uduba, I feel that he's got the similar qualities. I think we have a wider areas because you're giving them a responsibility with dribbling, with combination, which is I don't think he came in. But what they are good at, they've got a different quality. It's not like they're bad players. They've got a different quality. And I think that their different quality is just one pass into the box, maybe a cross that creates an opportunity or score for themselves.
Yeah.
We've seen that they do have goals in them. But if Ubadlala too wide, you are limiting. And also another thing, Mr. Nkeo, is that the midfield, the Kaizer Chiefs, I feel that it is not bringing out the best in their attacking players. For me, Mosembizeni, Mr. Nkeo, sometimes you don't have to play quicker. And also this stems from development coaches and people that would development football it, that always emphasize, play quicker, play quicker. In midfield, sometimes you don't have to always play a tempo one. And this is what I want to talk to with Lentuzo, Ucele nomtu, to be specific. Stop always rushing modal. We are sometimes we policy game, we ready game, allow your wingers to get into position. And sometimes gains a good to Lilepo because he's got defensive responsibilities. Chance abe in position, make the first run. If the first run is not happening, he's allowed to come back again and make the second run. You don't see those options with Kaizer Chiefs where in the front line, they only make one run. Even the striker makes one run. If that run doesn't happen, then the ball goes back. It rotates from the left to the right, to the left, to the right. And for me, I feel like with the midfielders, they can delay and keep the ball a little bit more. Then you will have better movement with the front line. So the front line is always playing under pressure. In midfield, you receive the ball, they always have to make a run. And if that run doesn't happen, the ball recycles again, it recycles. And also, the attacking line, let me talk to them, Abulilep. They need to have the motivation to say, if the first run doesn't happen, can I look for the second run? If the second run is not happening, can I come closer to the ball? Then go and make a deep run. The most dangerous run in football.
You're describing the makings of a ball-playing team, even though in the past weekend you said we must accept them as a counter-attacking team.
For sure.
Yeah, well, so you are describing a team that's supposed to be dominant on the ball. They can't do that because it looks like they're not interested in dominating football. They just want to play on the break. And I said to you, how does a break look like when people are behind the ball? And this is exactly what we saw today.
Yeah.
A dull game, an uncreative game where I remember showing you guys there a pattern of play where it's in the midfield, it goes to the right, comes back to the midfield, goes to the left, comes back to the from the left to the midfield, goes to the right. Like it happened in a pattern where you could see that these guys lack creativity, and that's what happens when, as you describe them perfectly, that they're a counter-attacking team.
Yeah, they are,
and that's the danger because you are a big team. You shouldn't be looking on countering because what if everyone who plays against you plays behind the ball? What are you going to do?
In this instance, Mr. Nkeu, it's very simple. They are a counter-attacking team, but there's different ways to use the profile of players that you have. Don't put your wingers wide and high. Bring them inside closer to the goals, more as number 10s, or playing in between, because it's modern football. Your wingers need to play in between the fullback and the centre back, closer to goal, even when you are playing on a transition. And also, they should have allowed the Polokwane, because I said I will judge them based on this. They should have allowed the Polokwane City a little bit to have the ball. And also, there's a reason why. I'll tell you the detail of that. When you allow Polokwane City to have the ball, you are saying to them, come to us. You are giving them a responsibility of creator. And the fact that they did not give Polokwane City that responsibility, now they had the responsibility to create. And in that...
A big team must always create. Anyways, let's wrap it up. We're not dishonest people. We're not going to talk a lot about a game that was not interesting. I want to take you to a place that's interesting. Okay. There's a reason why Polokwane City held on to Ozwena Police. And I'll drive you to that point now. Today, they played on the left-hand side. That's why I have the spawn here. Uramabu on the right, Udlamini on the left-hand side, to, help them with what Ozwena Police was helping them with. They secured their status last season in Polokwane City very early on. Yeah. They secured their status maybe within the first 3 months because they were in the top 3 very early on. Now, how do they replicate what Ozwena Police was doing for them? I know the reason why they didn't sell Apolis is that they knew that it was important to their status.
Yeah, for sure.
They knew that. They knew that he's worth 60 million because the status is 60 million plus everything else that you get in the league. You get a lot of money in the league per month as a grant, and you get a lot of other payments as well. So that's why they didn't want to release Apolis. Yeah. Now, how do they go about trying to maybe even mimic what Apolis used to do for them? Because in today's game, if they had Apolis, they could have scored a goal.
For sure.
There were moments where, it's not like they were good, they were so poor, but there were moments of counter where Apolis maybe would have been able to create a goal for them.
And also, I just have to give credit to Apolis, to be honest with you, Mr. Nkeu, because he came into this team, he was unknown. And umfana njengoba unknown uzenzele igama for himself, for Apolis. And for me, they do have that profile of players where it comes from the NFT and it shines. It's just a matter of giving these players time. But also, we have to be honest. Apolis, Mr. Nkeu, even though he was influential for Polokwane City, didn't score the amount of goals that people think he scored.
It was when he became depressed, when they were not selling him.
For sure.
because this is a second consecutive season in top flight football since they were promoted. The first one, he was so important. You can go and look at his numbers and even the influence as well. It was when last season, especially in January, where he had to go to Pirates and he didn't go. That's when you could see the decline and the lack of goals and assists. But still, him being there, him creating problems for the right back.
I think Mr. Nkeumena personally, because I've been following this Polokwane City team, right? I know we watch a lot of games. The Polokwane City, Mr. Nkeu, they came from ENFD. And in them coming that, they kept the same team. And they kept the same model in terms of play. I know you say I give these terms, but I know that they kept the same team, same lineup, same coach, same technical team.
Was so important.
Was so important. Unkwe was so important. Abo Mapangula and Nikani and Nikani Nonaki Emuva Usampunga is a goalkeeper experience. So for me, I felt like they were a better team. And they brought the best out of Ozonapolis. I feel that with the players that have lost, even in later last season, I felt that they were no longer playing as a team. I feel that the team brought out the best in Apolis. I don't think that Apolis, the quality of the player, for sure. He was the difference. I think he was probably their star player. But in my opinion,
in matches where they could have drawn, they're now losing because he's not there.
He's not there.
Yeah,
but for
we
me,
don't look at players we don't look at Mufugeng and say just because he's got 0 assists and 0 goals, he's not a good player. We know that the thing that happens before the assist and the goal is someone eliminating someone and giving it to someone else sometimes.
Because if you check on the last season how they started, they defended very well as a team.
Yeah, I know, I get your point.
For sure.
I'm not even countering your point to what you're saying. I'm emphasizing the fact that they really need a player like that.
They need
value, as we always mention, a player who Chiefs had no quality.
For sure.
Chiefs were almost similar to Polokwane City. Maybe they were 5% better. If they had a player who could do something for them, maybe in a game that they lose, they would have drawn.
Mr. Nkeumena, maybe Sival, I feel that to Apolis, no matter how much of a good player he is, I feel like we cannot discourage the fact that Polokwane City had a good team at the time.
And the
system and the team
better than the
because
player.
I feel like sometimes we give these players too much credit.
Sure.
We give these players too much credit, and where it matters, they don't show up. They don't show up. And for me...
But now you can understand why the owner was reluctant to sell.
100%.
Because he understands that maybe if we play 28 matches, he will help us in 10 matches where directly he gave us points or a draw. 3 points or a draw. 3 points or a draw. Like directly his input was important. But I agree with your point. Inherently, I agree with that. The system is better. Anyways, we need to wrap it up. Thank you so much. Apolis needed in that team, and also that what he's saying in terms of teamwork, that's so much better as well. That Onkanki, Onkwe, Matuludi, a lot of the players that they used to have, they don't have now. But going forward, of course, we shall see whether or not it will unfold and result in them struggling for relegation or mid-table mediocrity, maybe, which is where they belong. With Kaizer Chiefs, not a lot of quality, but they won against Stellenbosch. They won tonight as well. So I'm sure that's going to be a big deal on social media. If you didn't watch the game, you will think, okay, you won, and that's it. That's all that matters. iDiskiTV, iDiski Times, we're suspecting. For breaking news, go to iDiskiTimes.co.za.
Shapunjan bafowethu igama lami Lindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiskiTV. Tanko.
This is Bongane Benedict Villagazi, they call me so. Niazi bafowethu, Amakhosi for life, they are back in winning ways. Please, I tell you to subscribe to iDiskiTV.